We are live with another episode of Pound for Pound, a Shadow Lion production. I'm Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
And I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Got a very special guest. I'm talking about an MMA fighter, a boxer.
Who knows?
You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Francis Ngannou.
Oh, you gotta be professional here. It's Mr. Francis Ngannou, who's taking on Anthony Joshua March 8th from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on DAZN pay-per-view. Man, let's get into it.
A Shadow Lion production.
But when I see you, it's like it's almost like the same feeling I see when I see my brother Cash. It's like it's a familiar face, and it just makes you feel good. You feel warm, and you just want to hug them. You want to laugh. You want to hang out. You know, that's the feeling that I feel when I see you. So, you know, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
I think you have find you might not know, but you have find yourself a job for a retirement. I think you're gonna be like a philosopher or something. Now you start to talk about love, about being good with your girl and all those stuff. I'm worried about you. Like you're talking about
it's growth. It's growth. This is growth, Francis. It's growth. It's just
it's romantic stuff. This to my girl.
Take notes, Francis. Take notes, man. Someone's gonna sweep you off your feet sometimes. So take notes.
Not for what?
So he said someone is gonna sweep you off your feet. Some woman is gonna come and just sweep you off your feet, and then next thing you know.
I hope that doesn't happen because it's a bad thing. It's a really bad thing.
Why is it a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing, Francis?
No, it's a bad thing. Like I think I think first of all, okay, let's talk separately. Like relative love, family love, friend love, and all those stuff is different. I'm happy when I see you, even when I have you over the phone. It's different, right? But now, if we are talking about like someone switching me off the feet, that's another topic, completely different. And in fact, I think that kind of love should be illegal.
Why should it be illegal, Francis?
Okay, so have you ever seen someone that's high or on drugs or on cocaine or on marijuana or something, on weed?
Yes, I see it all the time, every week.
Yeah, and then every time when you ask them a question, like you try to understand what they are doing, and they will only answer like, you can't understand. Like it's so beautiful, like it's so cool, right?
Yeah.
People that are in love always have the same thing. I'm like, bro, what she did, what she has, like, what's the thing? Like, you can't understand. Like, bro, what's happening to you? You can't understand. They have the same thing.
Okay, you're right. I get that. But you're right. But there's the thing about that is, Henry, you could jump in here. Yeah, you're right in a sense.
No, you know what it is, Kamaru? I think the biggest thing is we gotta take this on a damn bachelor trip. Even though I'm no longer a bachelor, but we gotta take you out, Francis, and we gotta go to damn Brazil. And your world will be upside down.
Yeah, but Francis is a special guy because, and I've been out with Francis. You're a special guy because of the way you kind of reason what's going on around you. You're so sure of who you are or where you want to go, to where it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You're gonna be you. You're gonna be Francis. Me and Francis be riding. When I was fighting, we were fighting in undercards. And we would end up in a city. It was one time we ended up in this. I don't know where it was. I think maybe Pittsburgh or something. And we get done with the fight, and it was just us. We went out, and we ended up at some cafe, and we're just there. And those are some of the good special moments that I remember. It's just us. It's maybe four of us: me, him, Ali, maybe one or two friends, and we're just in there. We're having a sandwich, and it's just. Francis is not bothered by how many chicks are here or how many dudes are here and how many things.
So that's what I'm saying. So have you what does he do when like obviously he's a freaking statue. He's a 6'4", 265 pounds. I mean, what does he do when like a Well, I mean, how do you take it when like a hot girl comes up to you, Francis Ngannou, pretty much throws everything at you? Like, how do you mingle that, Francis Ngannou? Help me, man.
Yeah, first of all, like hot girl is relative. You know, like I go somewhere, I look around, and I don't see any hot girl. I don't see my type. I'm not on. I don't just have to settle.
Okay, so
Like,
what's your type? What's your type, Francis?
I don't know. They don't describe a type. You see sometime I'm like, oh, she's hot. And then you feel it. Like you like it or not. But now, sometime when you like it, you think about it, about what is realistic, what is possible or not. And sometimes the smart way, even though you like it, is to step away, is to move on. Like we are in Pittsburgh after his fight. I'm leaving tomorrow night. And then the next day, just like...
So do you see...
What am I going to do out there?
So, Francis, there's been a lot of fighters and there's been a lot of athletes. I was able to, co-host Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. And there was a lot of celebrities that believe in, like, semen retention. Do you believe that's true?
What is that?
Like semen retention, like when you don't, you want to help me out here?
When you don't finish, if you're with a woman, you don't finish. You're doing it with a woman, but you don't let yourself finish, which I think is crazy. It's like, why is the point of even doing it in the first place? If
like
you're
not ejaculating.
Yeah.
Do you like to keep the sperm in you?
Hell no. What's wrong?
What's the point, right?
Okay. Well, here we have it.
So, first of all, like, I have to identify if I'm going all the way or not. And if I think like it's not something that I can get all the way, then there's not a reason to engage. I don't engage until I'm sure that is what gonna happen or I'm gonna go through. I don't engage. I disengage. I think I have passed the time that I was just talking to girls to just have fun because I'm out, I'm this, yes, but I'm leaving in a couple hours. There's not the point, right? There's not the point. There's no time for dinner. There's no time for anything. So even if I like her, I say if I like you better, there's...
There, well, Francis Ngannou, you are the man. Welcome to this episode of Pound for Pound. I am your host, Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And your brother, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman. Francis, first and foremost, you see my support. You see me, always rocking the green.
I like that. Look at that, dude. True brotherhood.
Always.
I know. I didn't have to see. I know.
You know how I ride for Francis. First of all, speaking of this shirt, I didn't realize it till after, but in my last fight, the fight week, I was doing an interview and I had the shirt on because I thought it was a fly shirt. Shout out to Francis, shout out to Roots of Fight. I thought it was a great shirt and I was rocking it. And it wasn't until after the fight I started seeing tweets. I saw that you tweeted something that it was blurred out,
Yeah.
And what was the reason for that? Why? Why do you think that is?
Do you need any explanation? I don't know.
African power, baby. That's all you gotta say, Francis. African power.
No, I think like back in your organization, I would say so. I'm not longer welcome or the loved one or something, the support. So I think I just pissed some people off just to see my name or my face or something. Just piss some people off.
Wow, it goes that deep, huh? I didn't even realize it. Because usually they do that for if we're wearing a brand and that they can't show a brand. I thought that's why they would do that.
But guess what? I am a brand.
Yeah,
I am a brand now.
Francis Ngannou. You know what? I gotta give you your flowers, brother. I gotta give you your flowers. You know why, Francis? Because you were offered $8 million, man, by the UFC if you were to stay. And what did you say? You held off for that whole year. You held off for that whole year. It's like, you know what? I am a free agent. You went out there, you fought Tyson Fury. I mean, you probably doubled that in what you did. Obviously, you had the Nigerian Nightmare come out with you for the walkout. You had Israel Adesanya, and a lot of people, Francis, including myself, believe that you won that fight. I mean, you're amongst a mountain that a lot of people cannot say. Be pretty much becoming a two-sport world champ. I mean, looking back at that fight with Tyson Fury, give us a little update on that. Like, how do you view the whole fight, and why do you believe that you actually won?
Well, I mean, I believe that I won that fight based on the statistic, the punches and everything that happened in the round. Like in the fight, he hit the canvas and then pretty get beat up. I mean, I took some punches as well, but delivered more than he did, even consider that he was the champion. So, yeah. But I think above everything, that was like one of my biggest dream. As soon as I can remember myself dreaming of combat sport, he was boxing first. And even before I discovered MMA down the road later on, it was always about boxing. So I always have that thing in me that gonna be that I wanted to express that boxing, like at least try, and I do things my way. I don't do things because of people opinion or people impression, or because at the end of the day, nobody knows shit. People always like want to give you advice and do this, what you should do. Meanwhile, they are not doing anything for themselves. They have never done anything for their own self, and they pretend to be the one that know how your life should be. So I don't listen to that. I just follow my gut and my will. And the thing is that at every time I'm capable to deal with the consequence of my decision. In fact, I don't even consider as a consequence. I just consider like a unfortunate outcome, like the experience or something. If it doesn't work out, you were talking earlier about the contract that I turned down. Usman is here. He knew a lot about stuff that I turned down from the UFC, the negotiation, even my last fight in the UFC. I took $600,000 for my last fight in the UFC, as opposed to $5 million that they were offering, and for the same fight, right? I'm like, bro, and I was broke. Like at the time, I owe Usman right here. I owe him $200,000. I was broke.
Hey, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
Jesus, you guys are good, dude. No way,
right?
No way.
So,
what were you doing with all that money, Francis? You on a shopping streak? Does he love Dior or money? Like, what is it, man?
No, Francis is not that type of guy.
So what happened is like, I had something, I had a goal, I had my own way, I want something, and then it couldn't be delivered, and I couldn't sell out what I wanted just because of more money. Obviously, I needed that money. Obviously, I never had that amount of money, but
So what kind of comes to mind to me, Francis, is you go back to that little kid that was raised in Africa, the first sport that you fell in love with, which was boxing. So the way I see it, Francis, you became loyal to the dream. You're loyal to manifest that dream that you had as a little kid, and you're pretty much one step closer. You either re-sign with the UFC or you become a free agent and you chase a dream. And I mean, I feel like it's worked out for him, Kamaru.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't loyal about the dream. I was loyal to myself. What I always do, make sure I'm loyal to myself, to what I set at my principle, or my goals, everything. I don't change direction because of, unpredictable thing, because of like something that are attractive. I don't change my direction, and I think that's what happened. Even after that fight, we get to a negotiation. They were pretty much capable to do a lot of concession, but yet wasn't reaching my wasn't reaching my expectation, my goal. So we move. I move away.
Yeah, and I mentioned that earlier, friends. It's like it's one thing that I'm drawn to with humans and individuals, and I think you guys are special individuals who you guys are true to yourself. And I mentioned it even when I fought in Pittsburgh on an undercard, and it was just us. You were that guy to where you were just yourself. It wasn't a lot of shaking, a lot of movement. You weren't going to compromise for this or compromise for that. And I think that's something that's very special and very rare about you. But a big question that I had is, yes, I was able to be there with you for that last fight, your first boxing fight and official professional boxing fight. And being able to witness it, because we've been in big moments. You've headlined big moments, big cards, and I've been in big moments myself. And even in that moment, being there with you, I don't realize, because I'm there, I don't realize what it is and how big that moment is. So can you tell us, how is that how is the aftermath of that moment? Did you realize at that moment how big it was? Because I do remember us doing the rehearsals in the back, and you looked at me and you nodded and you were like, this is big. This is big. But did you actually realize how big that was going to become after that fight?
No, really. I think just as you said, like when you're living in the moment, you don't realize. Sometime after that moment, you go out and you see people, you see how they react, how they respond about it, and you're like,
right.
It was a big moment. Then, you're talking about the big moment. We were here in Riyadh, right? And then it was a good boxing fight. I was living my dream, right? But I didn't realize how big he was until after the fight. Then I tried to live my normal life I used to. And then I find out that it's not the same. I went home. Listen, I went back home in Cameroon, and I used to wait after a fight, couple 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then I can go out. People will be there, will come around, but not like this time. I went to the same place, wanted to eat this breakfast, this beignet haricot.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to jump in the back of the motorcycle. I'm like, run. I was mad. Guys, you see me here. I used to come here. I come here often, right now after the fight. But no, it wasn't the same. That's when you realize that something was different this time.
Yeah, well, Francis, I mean, now obviously you fought, probably as of right now, probably the best heavyweight. And again, I go back and say a lot of people thought you won that fight, including myself and Kamaru Usman. But now you're going up against an Olympic champion, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and Anthony Joshua. I mean, what differences do you see in a fight with him and a guy like Tyson Fury? And how has the preparation been?
Well, the difference between both are very important. First of all, I think I was exposed in the Tyson Fury fight. In the Tyson Fury fight, for Tyson Fury fight, he didn't know exactly what he was going to deal with. He didn't know how good I was, how I could box, nothing. He has no clue. He had no clue about my boxing. But this time around, Anthony Joshua knows about me. He has seen me box. So his preparation is different, right? He's going to come up having the idea of what he's coming into, So I think now he makes this fight more complicated than the first one. Not because Anthony Joshua is better than Tyson Fury, but just because he knows what he's dealing with, and he will come very, very prepared.
I agree. I think so too. My thing is, this is the fight that people want to see. This is the fight that we've all been calling for a long time, and the reason too is because worldwide, aesthetically, people love to see guys like you. There's not a lot of people that look like you and look like Anthony Joshua side by side. There's not. Two heavyweights, two giants that are physical specimen. There's not a lot of people that look like you guys. So this is the fight that people have always wanted to see. And so I just recently watched an episode of the face-off between you and Joshua. Was that your first time meeting him in person, Anthony Joshua?
No, he was the day before. He was the day before in Barcelona when we were shooting the promo video that we just posted.
That you guys met. Okay, so
yeah.
Now as fighters, we know this feeling, and it's the feeling of when you step into your opponent's energy, and that's when you sign the contract, and you've both committed. We're going to go to combat at this point in time. So how is that feeling for you, sitting down, stepping into his energy? What are you feeling from him, and what are you seeing from him?
I focus on myself. I don't focus on him. I know what he is. He's an Olympic champ. He's like a former undisputed heavyweight champion. I know how good he is, and then I focus on myself, what I can do, what I can get put on as a work to get there, and then to claim that victory that night. I think I get to the point that I don't really like focus on fighter like so much. I focus on me. It's about me. What can I do? How do I feel? How do I do this? Just get in the right mindset. And then, because I have realized one thing, when it comes to fight, hey bro, I'll defend myself. I mean, I don't know. I don't care if you're doing, I don't know if it's a kung fu fight or tai chi or whatever. I know I will do something. I can pull something up. So I believe in myself.
Yeah.
You know something?
I get prepared as much as I can, and then I'm like, let's go to war. Let's go find out.
Yeah. You know what's something that really impressing with you that a lot of people don't have is, one, when you fought Tyson Fury, your damn composure. And obviously you having, a freaking a living legend in Mike Tyson, like, how much does that pay dividends in your fight camp?
Well, he was very important. Even the idea of like having Mike there, like, okay, so he believes in it, then that means I'm not so bad. And let me tell you something, like, I couldn't be reckless. I knew that I have to be composed, very composed, because it's I don't have the same basic, I don't have the same experience. I have to rely on what I know the most, I have to use it at the very best. And then we know in combat sport, the basics, the fundamental are very important. So I'm like, let's stick on the fundamental. I'm not good enough to go out there. I don't have that much experience to go out there, be the playboy, play this. No. Let's stick on the fundamental. 1, 2, raise your hand up to your chin and this, that, So it was very important. And then mostly notice how you feel. I never been there. I never fight a boxing match. But I'm going to fight it 10 rounds. So my question is like, how do I gonna be feeling in the 4th round, in the 4th round, in the 5th round, the 6th round, right? So and at any moment, I'm trying to feel my body like, okay, am I good? Yeah, is it okay? Because I don't want to lose attention even for a second.
That's impressive. You know why, Kamaru? Because we are so accustomed to seeing Francis Ngannou knock everybody out within the first minute. That's really cool for me to hear, that you have to understand how to pace yourself for a 10-round, for a 10-round fight, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, I think you did it. You paced yourself great. But I even felt like you had more. I felt like you shocked yourself. Because first question, did you lose track of the rounds? Did you lose count?
No.
Or you knew every round?
Oh, I knew every single round. How come you can lose track of the rounds? Like things.
That's because you knock everybody out in the first round, Francis. There's 10 rounds in this shit, man. You can't blame us.
There's some fights where you forget. You're just like, you forget the rounds. But I think you were so present in that to where even at the end of the fight, I was like, you don't seem that tired. I feel like you had more, that you could have done more. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like I was tired, but I feel like I could have done more. Let's say if the fight was 12th round, I could have gone to 12th round. But one thing that I did very well, I was very relaxed. I was very I didn't throw any punch with a bad intention to like hurt. I was just like let it flow. Let your hand just go, even if that means touch. And it was just like be relaxed as possible. Leave this to the 10 round.
Coming back to
and then getting in the 10 rounds, I'm like, I was tired, but I'm like, I'm not that bad. No, like I thought. Then I realized after the 9th round, because the 8th round, I put a lot of pace, and then after that, I was like, my heart rate was a little high. The 9th round, I'm like, okay, let's cool down. I cooled down pretty much, and then came back in my corner. Then I was there feeling my body. I'm like, one more round, and I'm good. So that's when I stood up and then just raised my hand like, let's go. It's time. I even do the Superman punch. But at that time, I know that I had the energy, which is something that I couldn't do in the first round or in the middle of the round. But at the end, I'm like, I still have some energy. I can try that shit. Let's try it.
Okay, Francis, I think obviously you've been in Saudi Arabia now. I mean, the clip has gone viral. We saw Renan Ferreira just knock out Ryan Bader in 24 seconds. Obviously, the plan for you is to fight Anthony Joshua, and obviously we're going to see you in the PFL, and you're going to fight, Renan Ferreira, man. What are your thoughts on him?
Well,
and what are your and reality is, what is your thoughts on already kind of, even before this fight happens, you're already saying, hey, I want this guy next.
I mean, I haven't said that, but I've been telling people that watch out this guy. I saw a clip of him like over a year ago, and now I think even before I signed with the PFL, I'm like, what the hell is this guy? So I click on the profile he was tagged on, and then I go on his page and check, and I'm like, watch out this guy, because he's good, man. Like, look how big he is. Did you see what happened? Did you see his hand? Like, counter back, 1, 2, pop.
Yeah.
He does that like easy stuff. Better than even a boxer. That's 1, 2.
Yeah.
For a guy which is like, and then he's like 6'8", tall, with tall hands and everything. When he connects, you don't even know. So I've been telling people that watch out this guy.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be once you do decide to go back into that MMA kick, because we miss you in MMA. We everybody misses Francis Ngannou. We love that.
I miss MMA too, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I get to the point that I'm like, I think MMA was very easy. Because not that it's easy, but because it's my comfort zone now. I know what I'm doing. It's my area. I'm in this boxing every day, like trying to figure out all the new stuff, experiment, all those stuff. It's hard, man. Like the body mechanics, you still have to adjust everything, which is stuff that you have done all in MMA. Your body knows exactly what you're doing, even though MMA is more complex sport, but you've been doing it. When you step in the octagon, you know how to manage that.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what would you say is more difficult for you to prepare for? I know they're both complex in their own right, but what would you say MMA is more difficult, or would you say boxing is more difficult to prepare for?
I mean, it depends on who, right? Like, again, now it's just my boxing beginning, and I'm fighting elite fighters. So I have to put, usually like when people build up in a boxing fight, they have to go like 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds to 10 rounds. And then I'm just starting and I don't know nothing. It's my first fight. I have to do 10 rounds. My second fight, same thing, right? So obviously it's different. It's different because I don't have that experience yet. I don't have that body mechanic.
And can I say something? Can I say something too, Francis?
Sure.
You know what you know what changes, Francis, is the size of the glove. I mean, I do believe if we're to put any boxer even now to box you with MMA gloves with the power that you have, I think you knock these dudes out senseless. So I think it's very smart of you of understanding that. You have a 10-ounce glove, right? For a heavyweight?
Yes.
10 ounces, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It changes, man. But a 4-ounce glove, you give a 4-ounce glove to Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury. That right hand that you caught him with would put him out silly. So I'm just happy to hear a lot of these adjustments that you've been able to make from being an MMA fighter now to being the top 10 in boxing. And obviously, the pink elephant in the room is Jon Jones. You know, Jon Jones was in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, I know there was words that were said. I know he came out and you guys had a friendly, somewhat conversation. But what do you see the trajectory there? I mean, do you see something with Jon Jones in the near future? And also, the other question that I do have for you is, what's your take on a guy like Tom Aspinall? Do you feel like he could be a guy that could problematically give Jon Jones a run for his money?
First of all, like for the Jon Jones fight, it's always possible on my side, on our side. Now, Jon Jones has to deal with his house or whatever it is, with the UFC and their contract, whatever they can agree on to make this fight happen. But on my side, I'm always down for that fight. Call me anytime when that fight is ready to be selling. You know, I think it's gonna be. It's the fight. It's the fight to be made. Now, talking about like guy like Tom Aspinall. Honestly, I don't know. I think he's still young. I think he is good, but he's still young. He has some experience to gain. I might be wrong, but if you are comparing him with Jones, then there's a gap, a lot of difference between those to be compared. Obviously, he's the guy of the moment, but if you think normally to think about Jones, I mean, we have the same conversation with Ngannou, but see how Jones handled Ngannou. And then I will tell you that the Jones that fought Ngannou, he wasn't in a shape at all. Like, he wasn't in a shape. Like their first exchange, like in the striking, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It looks terrible. It looks terrible. But he's the guy. He knows how to fight. He has his experience. I mean, he's a guy that if you meet him in the bar in the morning, like he's drunk at 6 a.m., he's drunk, put him in the fight, he will fight, right? So he used those things to grab gun and like wrap him around like really quick. I'm like, okay, kids, I have more experience than you, and tied him up.
Yeah. Okay, John, I want Francis, I want to ask you a couple quick questions here. Just your one-word answers of who you think is. I'm gonna ask you who's the greatest heavyweight mixed martial arts fighter of all time? Who do you think?
Heavyweight?
Yes, of all time.
Of all time? Oh, I have to think a lot. I have to go back in a lot of
mixed martial arts. And that's everybody, not just UFC.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I might still go for Stipe or Fedor. Stipe. I have 3 heavyweights in mind. When you ask that, I have Stipe, I have Fedor, and I have Ken Velasquez.
Oof, God, okay. That's such a good choice. That's how you know you understand.
So those are my 3. Now to find who is like number 1, because yes, if this was the time that Fedor was still fighting, No, I didn't get to the end of his career. Maybe I would have said Fedor. I mean,
It's a tough one.
I will give you those three. Yeah.
Okay.
So Fedor number 1, Stipe number 2, Kane number 3. Like in their primes, before Fedor started going on this crazy like rampage of losing, like at one time that dude was pound for pound, and I think that's what made Fedor unique to the fact that he was getting rid of people. I mean, he was getting rid of people and he was submitting people. Like,
true.
You know,
now because now you are a boxer now. At this moment, so let's swing it over to box.
Both.
You're both.
A combat athlete.
Yeah, I'm
like
glad to
that.
see
I
you
like
didn't forget
that.
your roots. You're like, all right, let's go. We still both. All right, now, pound for pound, in boxing, who is your greatest heavyweight of all time? You know what? Not just one. Give me 3. The top 3 greatest heavyweights of all time.
Pound for pound, my greatest heavyweight of all the time. First of all, I put Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Then Muhammad Ali.
Okay. This is a tough one here. It's a lot of people here. It's a lot of people for you to think about here.
I don't have to think about a lot of people. I think you might be assuming of people of
No, you know what? Yeah, I can help you out on this one, Francis. You know who it is? Klitschko.
No.
What?
Yeah,
Klitschko?
Klitschko, bro.
Over
Klitschko
Evander
was undefeated
Holyfield?
for like.
Really?
Yeah, Klitschko beat everybody.
Over Joe Frazier?
Over who? I personally think Klitschko is top 3 pound for pound greatest heavyweights of all time, man.
You mean Klitschko over Joe Frazier? Over George Foreman?
Yeah.
Over,
just because of his defenses, because of all the title defenses that he's done. You know what I'm saying? The people
over
who
Lennox Lewis?
Oof, Lennox Lewis.
Yeah. What?
Lennox
This is why I said. This is why I said.
Lennox Lewis beat Holyfield. Lennox Lewis beat Tyson.
This is why I said think
Lennox
about
Lewis beat
that
gold
third
medalist too.
That third one, because I mean you're talking about Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, George Foreman,
Larry Holmes.
You're talking about there are some killers, and then Tyson Fury. Okay, now swing it over.
You guys can't all go black.
Who do you think?
Man. You guys got to diversify. Dude. You guys,
you guys are going black
too much.
I threw Tyson Fury in there. Okay, now right now, who do you think pound for pound? Who's the best heavyweight boxer right now? Heavyweight.
Right now,
yes,
he will be between Tyson Fury and Usyk.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, I think it's not.
No, I want who you think. Who do you think? One of those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Francis, can I tell you my top 2?
Yes.
Usyk and Andy Ruiz. I think Andy Ruiz has a style that's problematic for any style. And I think Anthony Joshua was able to beat him that one time just because he fought him correctly. But I think a guy like Andy Ruiz is so dangerous because he brings that out a lot of volume and he goes to the body a lot. And obviously Usyk, he's a smaller heavyweight, but he's super freaking technical.
Can I tell you my top 2?
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Yes.
Francis Ngannou.
Oh!
And Anthony Joshua.
And the Predator.
Anthony Joshua. First of all, I do think, and Anthony Joshua. Yeah, and I tell you what, and I do agree with Anthony Joshua. It's one thing about him.
You gotta remember though too, Francis. I coach Jones, dude. So you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. So let's go with this. I with Anthony Joshua, and I got to give him his flowers too. He's done so good with where he's been at and the position that he's been placed in since winning the Olympics. Brought up a certain way, fought in a certain system to where, and I think that's why, he gets the, some people do say, oh, he's not as tough, or he's not this, or he's not that. I do believe he is tough because he was dropped by Klitschko. Klitschko hit him with a good shot, sat him down. He was able to still get himself up off the ground and finish the fight. And so I want us to throw that away, that he's not tough. He is tough and he is gritty and he's gonna come out and try to win.
He's definitely tough.
Yeah. And like he said, in your face-off, he's expecting to use his brain in this fight. He wants to be smart here and do the smart thing. And I think everybody in the world knows the smart thing for him would be to be a boxer in this fight and not to be what the kingdom of Saudi Arabia or the world is expecting, a fight where it's a knockout heavyweight fight. He's expecting to use his brain and not go in there and exchange and try to get the knockout. Is that what you feel from him?
Well, I think from everyone, like, first of all, like, a good fighter will not walk in a fight. An experienced fighter doesn't walk in a fight like, oh, I'm going to knock out.
What?
Knockout.
You never done that, Francis?
I done it once. I done
Francis, you're throwing me off, bro. You're throwing me the hell off,
once,
dude.
but it didn't work out at all. Like, the only fight that I'm like, okay, let's go knock this guy out was my first fight with Stipe. And it was horrible, pretty bad. And all the fight, I was like, okay, let's just go fight. Whatever comes on my way, I gotta take it. And then I did amazing. I put people to sleep, So you don't walk in there and say, oh, I'm gonna do this. Then you are not composed. You are not very relaxed. You're not technical. You're very crisp, and then you get exhausted very quick.
Yeah. So Francis, like, just moving on, man. Obviously, you're fighting here in a couple of weeks, and we're all excited to watch you fight. We're all excited. 10 days. We're all excited to watch you pretty much shock the world, dude. And I think my biggest thing is obviously, you becoming a pioneer and obviously leaving the UFC to chase your dream, to be loyal to yourself. I mean, what advice would you give to a lot of these fighters who are up and coming, who have that talent and is looking to possibly do something in your position? I mean, what advice would you give these up and coming fighters?
Well, to be them, to be honest to themselves, to do what they really want to do, to not lose focus on their dream or on their goal. That doesn't mean it will be easy. They'll have a lot of hurdles along the way. That's what happens when you have dream. But to stay loyal to those dreams, to those willing, that's the most difficult things, because people ended up just getting comfortable fitting in, because the system is setting up like that. You have to be to get on the line and just say yes, because everybody is saying yes. But you also have to understand that sometimes there could be a entire people in the room can be in one line and still be wrong, or not be wrong, but you alone on your line, you can still be right for you, according to your dream, according to your goals, right? So I think it's all about being real with you. Do what you want to do. Don't do what don't let the pressure of the society impact on you, the opinion, what people think that, how people think that you might have ruined your career, what people think about this. At the end of the day, that career, there wasn't a career at the beginning. That career is only there because you made it, it's your willing, and if you have made it, you can make something else if you want it. So do you want it? Go for it. Is it going to be easy? No. Maybe even more complicated, but at the end of the day, where are you having the most satisfaction? That's your question.
Yeah. Francis Ngannou here with us on Pound for Pound. Francis, I love when I get to see you. I love this energy that you exude, that you give off, because you seem so free. You seem so happy. It's like the moment of when you're watching your dreams come true. You're just in awe of watching everything that's happening. As I can tell, you're in Saudi Arabia enjoying life. Francis, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I feel like there's a little bit of unfinished, a little bad blood. If I can't do it, if I can't make this John Jones fight happen, My mission is to repair that relationship and have you at a UFC fight to watch me fight or win the belt or defend the belt again, to have you sit next and watch that. My mission is to fix that, because I feel like there's some unresolved things there. If I can't make the John Jones fight with you and John Jones, that is my mission. I want to repair that. I feel it.
Well, no need to repair for that. I think as everyone, I have a right to attend to your fight.
Yes.
And nobody should stop that. And in fact,
Francis, you're such a businessman. I love it.
I'm gonna attend to your fight.
Yeah.
Well, Francis Ngannou, thank you
about that.
Francis Ngannou, man, thank you so much, bro. Obviously, I gotta ask you this, because obviously you have so much on the plate. Last question, bro, that we literally have for you is, Francis Ngannou, how is it that you eventually, when you retire, you set the gloves, whether MMA or boxing, how do you want your legacy to be told?
What do I want my legacy to be told?
Yeah, of course.
Well, when I retire from fighting, it's just the end of my combat sport career. I think I might retire around 40. I'm thinking about 40 each. So in 3-4 years by now, that's where my mind is at. Then at 40, I still have maybe half of my life that I can do a lot of things. I might have to go back to school, learn something that I want to really do, and then start a new career. So I'm just cemented the floor, the place for the legacy. I'm not doing the legacy yet. It's still going to be built a biggest town, very, very big town.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
my brother Francis. Thank you for joining us at Pound for Pound, my brother. And we can't wait to watch you compete against Anthony Joshua. March 11th. It's
March 8th.
March 8th. We can't wait to see that.
If you don't remember, it's easy. It's International Women's Day, since you love women so much.
Hey.
Well, there you have it, guys. I'm your co-host, Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman. And thank you, Francis, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're back. Henry, have you ever Googled yourself and just see some of the shit that comes out?
I feel like we're getting ready to cringe. But Kamaru, why don't we start off with you?
We start off with me? Okay, I think we should let's Google myself and let's see what comes up. Whoa. Wait. Who are okay, so you Google this is crazy, just the body of work that we've put in.
No.
The kick heard around the world. I need to get this framed. This is like,
That's what you gotta get done, dude.
That's it sucks that, seeing it, because I'm not doing this at the expense of, the former champion sitting down there like that, but it's just, this picture just shows the unrelenting belief that I had in myself to become champion. So, yep, that each round was like that. I got up and walked back to my corner just like that. Like, you gonna learn today. Whoever I'm fighting, you gonna learn today. But, oh yeah, what is that?
Let's Google.
This is the rich lifestyle
go to the
of
top,
hot
yeah.
babes. What?
Damn, come on, you got it like that.
The rich lifestyle of hot babes. Well, it's a YouTube video. Net worth. How do you know what my net worth is? First of all, I do kind of low key want to see what it says my net worth is. I want to see that. This man's net worth 2023. What does it say? 3 million. Really?
Yeah, you got the 3 mil.
Yeah.
You got the 3 mil, Kush.
I can't deny nor accept. I can't confirm nor deny. All I can say is whoever's making these things up. Yeah. Is that Forbes? That's not Forbes? Am I on Forbes? I'm not on Forbes, huh?
The thing that people need to understand, dude, when you do make the money that we make is that we get taxed, dude.
Yeah, heavy. But I want to watch that video. I low-key want to watch that video to see what they're talking about. This right there, that interview, I shot in my house at the time, which was a townhouse. Yeah. It was a nice townhouse, but it was a freaking townhouse. They said it's quite large. That's hilarious. These people just make up anything online.
I don't know. Come on, go back a little bit. I'm just happy, dude. I'm just happy you decided to just go completely bald, dude. Go back.
Hey, don't. Ooh, you see that car? You see my cars out there. You see my car. I do have a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Yes, I do. So they weren't completely wrong about that.
I'm glad you went bald, bro, to go back to
what
that.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Look at me. In college, I got hair, bro. I got hair. I was just starting to thin out on the sides. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care that much. Yeah. Actually, let's Google Henry's. Let's see what comes up on Henry. What chicks they have. Henry says that. Net worth, where they got Henry.
See if I'm worth more than Kamaru.
Probably. Net worth and hot wife. What does it say? 2 million.
2 million net worth 2024. What do you think, Kamaru?
Mine was 3 million at 2023. It's probably doubled by 2024. Even though I haven't fought. So it's probably double. Let's go to the videos. Let's go to the videos like we saw for me. Yeah, let's go to the video. Yeah. Who was that one? Wait, what was that? Wait, whoa. You came out like that? Which fight did you walk out like that?
This was in Mexico.
Dressed like a pharaoh. Wait, you walked out like that, dressed like a Egyptian pharaoh.
I don't know what I was thinking. I've always loved like the Aztec and Mayan culture.
Yeah.
And a lot of our bloodline kind of comes with us. I'm just like, you know what, dude? I want to do something fucking cool for Mexico. I want to come out dressed like a fucking Aztec, but it just didn't. It sounded better in my head. And then now when I have it look like freaking Cleopatra, dude, So forgive me for that one.
Was this in the UFC?
Yes, the UFC.
They let you fight
they did it. But you know what? I think fuck, I don't even think they fucking filmed the walkout. But
the what? They didn't even film the walkout.
They're like, nah.
They're like, yeah, we're good, bro.
Google this one, bro. Henry Cejudo Boge.
But wait, what?
Dude, once I won the Olympics, bro. Look at that. Dude, I was on all kinds of gay sites, dude.
Wait, what? Who is thinking about this right now? Who? Oh my God, people. Wow.
Godly.
Wow. Look at you growing it up with Nick Simmons.
They're just bulging me up.
The East Langston Strangler. Yeah, let's see what Henry Cejudo's cars look like. Yeah.
I just got a Bronco, dude.
Ooh, you got the big boy GMC joint.
Yeah, what do you think? You like that? Big boy?
The big trucks, huh? You like the big...
Yeah, had a Gladiator. Boss. I went Bronco though. And I just, I purchased that Ferrari. I mean that Lamborghini when I was in Dubai. Nothing.
What's
crazy.
The caption? The most humble man.
The most humble man I've ever met. Oh shit! I worked together.
Yeah,
that was at Prince Hamdan's place.
Hey, look at you! You love Lambos, huh? I'm not a fan.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah!
I'm not a fan. What do they say for me? Cars. Look at the different version of cars like they have for us. Do these match our styles? I mean, they're not completely wrong.
And they putting some babes next to you, dude.
Why?
They be putting some freaking babes.
Yeah.
You like the Lamborghini? You like that SUV?
No.
No, not really.
No. I'm not a fan of Lambos. My daughter loves Lambos, though, but I'm not a fan. Yeah, what does that say?
That's you quoting. I can change your life in the worst way. Kamaru Usman fires back at Jake Paul with chilling warning by claiming this is how.
Oh yeah, this is when he was like.
This is how people truly get hurt. After YouTuber turned boxer attempts to rely up UFC champ over Disney kid comment.
Up, yeah. Oh, I remember that because we so I just knocked out, I think, Burns or maybe Masvidal. And this is when he's like 1-0 or something, or 2-0. And he starts like digging at every MMA guy somewhere around his weight because he just wants to try to pick a fight. He's trying to understand, he's trying to build his resume and get more people to talk about him. And at that point, I'm deep into fighting. I'm running through guys. I don't want to play no games. I'm not here for that. I come for the work. And he's trying to tweet me and try to get me. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't play that. I don't play that. Because he's a Disney kid. And I said that. And so he fires back he found a picture of my daughter, because I took my daughter to Disney. Yeah. And he posted
that motherfucker? Did he really pull that?
Yeah, he posted that.
Man, I think that's...
Usman visits Disney World. Usman then backs out of fight because what'd he say? He says, Usman calls me out to fight. I didn't call you out. You called me out. I quickly accept the fight and will give him biggest payday of his career. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Did Jake Paul offer you 10 mil?
Did he? Come on, you know all this internet stuff is cap.
No, but I tell you what, dude, the dude's got money.
I didn't say he didn't have money. He has money. I have money. You have money. And so he said that, and then I said what I said. Just if we're tweeting each other, all right, we tweet. Then he put that picture of my daughter, and at that point, you know,
so this was your reply.
Yeah, I understand. You think this is a game. Why you don't realize that this is how people truly get hurt? I don't play that. I don't play fighting, and I can change your life in the world. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I was just being passionately honest to him. Like, I'm not that. Who was it that when he had that interaction with Floyd Mayweather and they were just like playing and then he like ran away?
Got your hat.
Stuff. Yeah, I'm not doing that. For me, it's on site. If I see you, if you're close to me, I'm swinging. I'm gonna break your face at some point. I'm gonna try at least, especially. And it's because he took it to the point where you pulled up a picture of my daughter and you're just, doing things like that. I just don't play that. But I mean, I respect, what he's done, what he's built, and yeah, I can't.
You know who I'd like to freaking Google?
Who?
Colby Covington.
Colby.
Google.
The man, the myth. Colby Covington.
Google Colby Covington knuckles.
Oh, look at that picture of his face. I wonder whose fist is that. Ooh, that's a bad one. And this is what I was simply saying to Jake is, hey, this could happen to you. But we have to give it up to him, Henry. We have to be honest. We have to give it up to Colby Covington because of what he's done is I don't think there's ever been anyone in history of the sport, maybe not even in wrestling, pro wrestling, that has arguably become such a heel to where they're truly hated by everybody.
Fuck, I'm probably not too far from that.
No, yeah. You're nowhere close to people. You come around, people Triple C. Like Kobe comes around, people are fighting. Hey! People are swinging. It's just what he's done. He's been able to create this character that he can fight anybody, and I think it will be a sought after fight.
But can I tell you something too? Like, he's also loved, man. He's loved by those fucking Patriot Americans, man. So it's
I got to give him his props for being able to, even though we know it's a character who cares? Who cares?
Yes, I want to thank all the men and women, all the soldiers,
first responders.
all the first responders.
It's crazy how the journey, and we can talk about that later on in the show, the journey that I had, the connection that I have to some of these guys, like Covington. The connection, how crazy is it that me and John Jones were friends coming out of high school. So when John Jones goes to college at Iowa Central, I go to visit John Jones that following year, and I stayed in the room that Kobe Covington later then stayed the following year, where he was roommates with John Jones. How crazy is that? This is two people from randomly completely different parts of the world end up in a specific place to where we had tied this way. We both moved down to South Florida to do MMA. Kobe Covington was offered to me as my second professional fight. I accept. I'm hearing he accepted, and then some people say he didn't accept, but we didn't end up fighting. The fight didn't go through. I ended up taking someone else on short notice, which is my second professional fight, which I lost. He gets in the UFC while I'm on the Ultimate Fighter. Our path is just like, we're like going this way, and we eventually clash for the title, which was probably one of the most fun I've ever had in a fight. And that was that fight, December 14th. Yeah, Kobe won. That's the most fun I've ever had. I didn't think about being in a fight.
You fought him, what, 2 or 3 times?
Twice. I was just like, I just love being in here. I just remember we started out banging right away. Pause. We were thumping, throwing hands right off the rip. And we just made that. We just looked at each other. He looked at me. I looked at him. And we just made that decision. Like, we're not fucking wrestling tonight. We're not wrestling. We're just going to stand here and we're going to throw hands. You talked all that shit. I said what I needed to say. So we're going to throw hands until somebody goes down.
Yeah. Google Paulo Costa gets dry humped.
What?
Or we could, yeah, or Google Paulo Costa memes.
Is that what you're talking about? Oh,
yeah, damn, Hamza,
he got his secret juice.
He got his secret juice.
Hamza's a troll. No. Damn it, Paulo.
Damn, Paulo.
Izzy is petty.
I had no idea. I had no idea Hamza fucking tweeted that.
Yeah, Hamza be tweeting shit.
He got his
He's sneaky. He be tweeting stuff. He tweeted something about me too. Because I think
let's see what else is.
I reposted and I said rematch because I want that fight back because it's a championship fight.
There's just hair transplant. Let's look at Paulo's hair transplant. Turkey. Dude, that dude's losing his fucking hair, dude, completely.
No. Oh, man. Yeah, see, Turkey wants me to come through and do the hair transplant, but I'm like, I just don't care that much. I don't care that much about the hair to go and do the transplant. Oh, man. Oh, they killed me after the Edwards 2 fight. After the kick. Oh my God. They were like, I saw one that said, after you nut and she's still sucking.
What is it? After you nut, she's still sucking. Oh shit.
People, why? Man. What did I do to you guys? What did I do?
That shit is.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh. That got me. That one, when I seen that, I was like, yo. Like, after you nut, and she's still sucking.
You ever been to that position where like they're like you want to like smack him like get him fucking out? It's like It's like, stop. Guys, we gotta close it out. This shit is super funny, man. That's inside, outside the cage of the Triple C and the Nigerian Diamond, man. You guys, hope you guys tune in. Till next time.